Hello, people. Welcome to the match reaction. Brentford won, Arsenal won, and Arsenal in the bottom of the league. And here we are. We're going to talk about Arsenal tonight. There's always a few in the chat, aren't there? There's always a few. But you know what? They won't be in tonight. They'll be checking that table. They'll be checking that table, looking at City's games. We've been there before, let's be honest. But you know what? We won a 1 in 2 in 30 or 2 in 5 years. Call it what you like. Call it what you like. But welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, look. He's my nephew. He's on Umrah. He's making special dua for Arsenal to win the league. Look who's here. Look who's here. I actually just gave all the lads, there's a few nephews and all the lads, friends and family are on the big trip. So big up to them. Make plenty of dua for us. Make plenty of dua for Arsenal as well. And if you don't score set pieces, and they did score a set piece, I don't know. I've just come back from badminton. No. But welcome. Smash a like on the way in. There's nearly 200 people of you already in the chat. And subscribe to the channel and make sure you follow and subscribe to all the channels and these guys represent as well. Same, and of course, Waeed. But I'll come to I won't call them guests because they're part of the channel now. Yeah, lads, it's always nice, Waeed, that when Arsenal drop points, because they start getting a bit shaky, and it's that time when they do drop points, I go over to AFTV just to see the whole drama because it's always entertaining.
100%. We were just saying before we got on live, first of all, salams to everybody in the chat. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, imagine if Arsenal bottle it again, finish second or third. I think from our perspective, the season we're having, that could be a nice silver lining. So. But like you said, 2 weeks ago, they could have been 12 points clear. They're 4. 4 is nothing. And Man City have got their defenders coming back. So, and they're on a little bounce, like, you know. So this is going to be funny. I'm smiling because it's hilarious, you know, because they need bringing down a peg or two, innit? You know, stay humble, as they say.
100%. Sim, I have to ask you, where did you get that top from? That is a sick top.
Store, man, LFC store.
Really? Is that new?
Nice.
Well, it can't be, can it? Because it's Adidas, yeah.
This was the last collab they did.
Nice.
Yeah. So had to get it, man. But you know, it's annoying with all the Adidas stuff. I don't have any Adidas clothes, so I need to go get some. I need to go to the Adidas store, man.
No, that's a sick top. And your sound is better, and your lighting is a lot better. I can't complain about lighting.
I'm investing now, boys. Now I'm a regular. I had to. Sheen was giving me the heads up last week, man, saying, listen, go get a camera from here.
Let's go over to last night then, because a week in football, as they say, is a long time. Waeed. Last week, the week before, it was a really encouraging big win at home to Newcastle, and then we crashed in the last 10 minutes against City, and then it was all doom and gloom. But a brilliant win last night. Were you there, by the way?
No, I did go to last night. I'm going to weekends, Brighton, and I'll be doing all the away games then rest of the season. So, but yeah, I mean, look, I always want Liverpool to win first and foremost. Liverpool are my club, but Slot, I feel like Slot's a cat. He's got 9 lives or something. Every time he's like a result away from we're thinking he might get sacked, he just pulls it out the bag, doesn't he? It's happened all season. It's not like we've gone to places where before the game we're thinking we're not going to get anything here. Inter Milan, Arsenal, and we've pulled out results. But yesterday for me was actually probably the best away performance of the season. We haven't got many to pick from. Let's be honest. but it was professional. It wasn't amazing. It was professional. It was resilient, and like the back two, special back four in general, but a back two, those centre backs. It was a night for the defenders more than anything, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. As Alex says, he said it in the chat as well on my fan cam. What a win, what a performance, what a manager. I think there's a sense of sarcasm in there, a hint of sarcasm. But we'll come to the defense. Actually, you know what? Let's go to the defense. Same as what he says. I think they were the foundation of the win, and it was a bit of a surprise. Let's be honest, to see Robbo and Endo start. If I'm really honest, I if we didn't do a predicted lineup show, but I thought Curtis is going to get the nod. But that may be another conversation later on this show as to what's happening there. No starts in 5 games, but like Wade says, Sim, I thought the defense. You can go across the defensive line. They were all brilliant, and what we've been crying out for all season: fight, desire, and courage.
Yeah, to be honest, that's probably one of the better defensive performances we've seen this year, where everyone was solid. Like, no, I think in previous games where we've been a little bit more resilient at the back, it's always been like you can probably identify 1 or 2, but I think the whole back 4 they all look comfortable. And I think with Endo, you know what you're going to get with him. Like, he is just a warrior. And obviously we saw it when he went down with the injury, got back up, and it's just like, I think that's what we want, man. Just like players to dig in. And you know what? Konate seems like he's back in a decent run of form, and it doesn't seem like it's a one-off now. And yeah, man, that's just. I was very surprised to see Robbo start. I thought, but I think Kirkes did look a little bit goosed against City for the last half an hour or so. So maybe he was just resting his legs. But we know what Robbo can do. Robbo can just come in at any time, and you know what you're going to get from him. It's probably going to be minimum 6 sevens, and anything more than that, it's just great, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Sticking with the defensive line, Gene, I think Endo epitomized our defensive performance. Yes, he went off, but you know that little clip where he did something serious to his ankle and then got up, didn't know where he was, and then tried to get up again. It was a proper heroic performance. And you know what? I'm absolutely gutted for him because, look, he doesn't get enough time. Let's be honest. He's 5th and 6th choice in various positions, but I thought he epitomized Liverpool's performance. But it sort of rubbed off on the rest of them. Yes, Virgin, especially Konate, since he had the tragic passing away of his father. And it's shown a different light of Konate and the resilience and his mentality, to be fair to him. But going to Robbo, Gene, were you surprised Robbo started? I was slightly surprised, but then I saw, you know, how many games Kirkes has played, and then I thought, you know what, who plays the FA Cup game with Minter? And how Minter was at Anfield earlier on the season, he does not stop running. I thought, you know what, it probably makes sense. You're on mute, Gene. You're on mute.
Sorry, I thought, you know what, I was surprised because I thought if we're gonna have Endo at right back, it probably makes sense to play Kirkes at left back because I didn't want to see changes. But because the manager's gone for a Robbo and he's gone for Endo, I'll be honest, Endo I thought was fantastic. Like Sim mentioned, you know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the defensive solidity, and you're gonna get somebody who's gonna put his life on the line, literally, and that's what he did. Most of the game, he was strong in his tackles, aggressive when he needed to be, tried to support whenever he can. He gives 100%, 110% in every single tackle, in every single phase of play. You are going to get Endo, who's going to be there or thereabout. I have to give the lad a lot of yesterday. We know what he's about. He's never let us down. He will always leave everything on the pitch, and that's what he did. And you're right, he probably did have... it did probably rub off on the other defenders because it was probably Ibou Konate's best game of the season, I would say, where in terms of where he's up against a player, to go up against him all the time, he had to mark him and he had to win his duels, and he won, I would say, from what I saw, at least 90% of them against him, and I thought it was a fantastic performance. But Robbo, Asim, got to give him a lot of credit. He was assured when he needed to be. He does definitely bring you the calmness that probably Kirkes doesn't. Kirkes is more up and down, hustle and harry, up somebody's ass. That's just the way he is. He's 100 miles an hour type of footballer. Whereas Robbo gives you that, calmness and assurance. He's a decent passer of the ball. And, he's been playing with Verge for so long. It was a good defensive performance. If we're looking at in the defense, what did, Sunderland actually create? I don't think they created many chances. Allowed them to create. Yes, they had that 15-minute spell in the second half, but first half, I didn't see them do it. I didn't see them do anything. And we marshaled Konate marshaled the defense really well. So I have to give him. He was my man of the match. That's what I thought of his performance yesterday.
Yeah, 100%. Sticking with the right back position, Wade, I said I expected Curtis Jones to play because he's got plenty of freshness in him. He hasn't started, like I said. If he didn't start this game, it would have been 5. So I didn't expect it. What's going on there?
Well,
What's going on there?
I've watched the channel for a while. You've also said it before. When Slot falls out with someone, he doesn't have. He's hard. He doesn't hide it well, does he? You know. And it's no surprise since I think the Burnley altercation when they showed on the sidelines. Since that, we've had about 5 games or 4 games, and
6 games.
Jones has played less than 45 minutes in total football. So that says it all, like, you know. And since then, we've had the rumour links with Inter Milan, and there seems to be a pattern. We've had Mo Salah come out of this season. We've had Virgil van Dijk come out this season. We've had now Curtis Jones come out this season. So he's clearly got a man management issue, I think, now, or there's something happened behind the scenes. But I just think, he's fallen out with Slot, and Slot doesn't fancy him right now. And when he doesn't fancy someone, you ain't playing, you ain't getting in that starting 11. So he went with Endo, and look, Endo was a warrior. I second everything that you said. He was brilliant. He's, you know, he hasn't played any minutes at all this season. So to come in and to put that kind of performance, he won the 3rd most duels in the match out of everyone. And like you said, he's just a warrior, isn't he? So for him, I'm gutted because it's a World Cup season. So I hope he recovers quick and enough and comes back for the World Cups. But yeah, I just think on the right back.
Why do you expect him to leave in the summer?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I think there's going to be about 4 or 5 and out again, and maybe 4 or 5 in again.
Sim, do you see Curtis Jones
he's
leaving?
100% going to go. He's definitely going to go in the summer. I think he probably thought he could force his way in this season because there was rumours about him going. Was it back to the Bundesliga in the summer just gone? But I think he probably should have known from last season that he wasn't going to get any more minutes than he got last season, and he was just basically a closer, wasn't he? Just closing the game out. And I feel sorry for him because he's not the most technically gifted, but you know what you're going to get from him. And he doesn't really cost us when he's on the pitch. So I wish we saw more of him this season, just because we probably could have done with some solidity in the midfield. But like you guys have said, when Slot's done with you, it seems like he's done. It's like there's no way back, and that arrogance, I just think he's arrogant. I'll be honest.
Look, I criticized him today, and when I did, and I felt like, you know what, was I being harsh? I probably should have gone back. I'll hold my hands up. I should have watched the whole press conference rather than judging it. Sometimes when you get a clip, you don't get the full context, or was he asked that question? How he was asked, and all that sort of stuff. And it's very, very important before you make a judgment. So I'll hold my hands up. What I would say is, only about 3-4 days ago, he was talking about Ramsey, and that was probably for me. Look, is Ramsey pivotal to Liverpool? No. Is Ramsey going to make us win the Champions League? No. But it's just the way you say it, especially during a time change when you're under pressure. You don't want to create any unnecessary headlines. And at the moment, for me, he is doing. Like, Jose Mourinho was a proper man manager. I don't expect him to be Jose. I don't expect him to be half of the man manager that Jurgen Klopp was. But you should know that there's a time and place to be honest and ruthless. But for me, whether it's pressure, whether it's just that he just wants to be really honest and doesn't want to change, but something has to give, because you need to make sure you read the room, Gene.
Asim is just a fucking shit man manager. Let's be honest. You know, there's no thing. You know, he needs to read the room. It's just he don't have a clue when it concerns man management. There's no need. Look, I get it. Somebody is saying he didn't really see. Just Kanate's put up a man of the match performances. Why do you need to say? Just come out and say, look, that was a brilliant performance. Why are you saying 90 games with 99% he was good, and then he'd make it? You know, you don't need to hear about it anymore.
You know what?
Positives. Like, yes, he'll see that as a positive. Oh, I'm saying that he was actually quite good, but that one little mistake, you know, that's why we give. But no, just stick with the positives. This Calvin Ramsey business. Oh, yeah, he's a kid. No need. Why are you saying you don't? No need for it. I don't understand why he himself says things that when you're under pressure, Asim, when you're a manager that's under pressure, you don't want to say something that's you think is gonna rile the fan base or cause fan bases to think maybe he means this, maybe he means that. Just be normal and just ask normal meaning. Don't sometimes can't give the honest truth even though you want to. And people give me this Dutch thing, or he's Dutch, yeah, they're honest. I don't buy that bullshit, bro. It's just sheer stupidity sometimes. But you know what? Look, it was a win yesterday. I say I want to concentrate on the win because I don't want to be fucking going for the manager about comments that he's made, especially after a win. Yeah, and we shouldn't really be scrutinizing.
The funny thing was, whilst he was talking about Kanate and he used the word ruined our game, and then he goes, "Well, it wasn't all of it him; it was everyone else."
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean.
You know, for fuck's sake. I found that funny, man. I thought he's trying to sort of round it up, but I thought it was just too late. But just quickly before we move on, Wade, there was in one of the comments, I think it was Alex, he said, look, and he was touching on making the point that you can't have it both ways, lads, where in that first game last season when he subbed Kwanzaa off in the first half and he came and he said, look, we need you to win the duels. And, you know, he more or less, let's be honest, he embarrassed Kwanzaa. It was a ruthless decision. It was the right decision. So there's a point of view amongst the fan base that you lads, you know, he's just the way he is. You can't see what he did against Ipswich and not call it out then last season, but now you're calling it out now. Do you understand that point of view, right?
100%. And look, I'm not taking away what he did last year because even though people say it's a clock team, you still to go for a 38-game season in the way we did it last year, to make those tactical tweaks that he did in the second half to come out and beat teams. He shows he's a good coach. That's what he showed tactically last year. Okay, now he's trying to implement a different style, whatever that style is, and hasn't worked out so far. Yes, we've had a shed load of injuries, and yes, there's been a disruption to the start of the season with the loss of Jota, rest in peace. But ultimately, throughout a 3-year contract, you're going to get tested in multiple things when you're a coach, especially a manager of Liverpool. Not just your tactics, not just how you play, but how you manage your squad and your youngsters as well. I don't want to compare him with Klopp, but Klopp fielded 11 youngsters in a cup final who would walk through wall for him, who believed into the Liverpool way of things. I don't see that with Slot here. And like I said, I don't want to go into Slot all the time. We got to give him credit where it's due. And yesterday, I give him credit. We set up well. Yeah. We were solid. And like Sheen said, where was their chances? Robbie, who bullies most offences, Ibou had him in his pocket. You know. Yeah. And so we have to give them credit. But what I want to see now is some consistency. Yes, you've done well. Yes, you've got a clean sheet. Can we have more of that, please? You know, and also, can we not rely on a moment of a set piece or a magic? Let's try and get some more open play goals. Okay, good result. Let's build on this. Let's see some consistency. But we're a yo-yo club this season, so I don't want a yo-yo on Saturday against Brighton. I want to have a little cup run, you know. So you know, you just don't know. It's like we are like a packet of rebels. You don't know what chocolate you're going to get, and every now and then you're going to get a coffee with, aren't you? And you're going to spit it out. So I hope it's not coffee on the weekend, right?
I hope it's not got a coffee on the weekend. So keep on liking the stream, people, and subscribe to the channel and hype and share the video as well and all that good stuff. I want to, and the reason why I wanted to, Gene goes, let's stick to the positives, and he's right. Well, because we didn't do a show on Mondays and on the Monday and Tuesday, I thought we haven't discussed it, so we'd cover it for a bit. But Kanate, Sim. What a performance. Gene, I think Gene's called it that it's his best performance of the season. All things considered, I'd probably agree with that. But there's a cloud hanging over him. And that cloud is his contract. Where do you see it? There was some reports in the media today that Liverpool are seeing the situation as they saw the situation last year with Van Dijk and Salah and Trent. We got 2 out of 3. Or do you see this contract just like filtering to the summer and then we'll see him exit, to maybe PSG or Real Madrid? How do you see it going?
I was on last week, this time last week, and we spoke about it, and I still got a funny feeling he might stay. I feel like if he was going to Madrid, you know how Madrid like to control the media, and you know they're very, very good at that. And those reports have just died out, and they pretty much said that they weren't interested. Possibly PSG, and I think it's going to come down to, are we willing to offer him the wages? We know Bayern could possibly be in for a centre back over the summer as well if Upamecano goes, and is it Kim, the other centre back? Yeah. So that's a possibility, but I don't know, man. I think he might just look around and actually just think, you know what, I've got it good here. We're not having the best season, but you can see that we're trying to build something again. Whether we recruited right over the summer just gone, that's another argument, another question. But I just wondered, is he going to look around and just say, you know what, it's good here. Virgil's here for another year at least. I've got these young, talented kids in front of me. Yeah, I just wouldn't be surprised. And, you know, I don't want to lose him. I know we've given him some shit this year because his performances haven't been good enough, but he's kind of coming back into that run of form that we know he can perform at. When he performs, look at that performance in the Champions League final, and I know that was a few years ago, but we know what his level is. And I think we're only so hard on him because we know that level. Yeah, it's good to see him, man. It's good to see him back performing, and, you know, he's gone for a serious personal loss, and he's still able to put these performances up.
Gene, let's head to Florian Wirtz. He's always going to divide opinion. He's making those doubters believe a little more in him. Let's be honest, especially with the likes, him performing the likes. I know against lesser opposition, but I thought he lost the ball a couple of times yesterday. It was frustrating, but that pitch didn't help anybody yesterday. And that's one of my concerns, how Liverpool recover. I know it's only the FA Cup, but going by the manager's comments, especially with what happened with was going out against Plymouth and all that sort of stuff, I think I get a feeling where he wants to do well in the FA Cup this season. So expect a really good team. But Florian Wirtz, what did you make of his performance? Because I thought he was brilliant.
Look, I thought Florian Wirtz had a really good game. I thought the way he receives the ball, his passing was good. He worked really, really hard, and I thought he had not fantastic game. I thought he had a very good game from his standards. And Asim, if we're honest, he should have scored. He was a brilliant post. But you know, one thing that I wasn't happy with him, and people know I'm his biggest fan, but of course I'm his biggest critic at the same time. When the ball goes up in the air, at least fucking go for it. I didn't like the fact that he pussied out, Asim. I'll be honest. I didn't like the fact that he didn't get his put your head on it, man. Put your head where it hurts sometimes. That could have been a goal because he was favourite to win that ball, you know. And, you know, if we put on a decent amount of pace on that header, we could have scored. But if I'm honest, in terms of his actual performance, I thought he performed really, really well. Should have nearly got his goal. He was good. I was impressed with him yesterday. I wasn't that impressed with Ekatike, if I'm honest, Asim. I thought there's 2 games in a row where he's missed 2 big chances in terms of the same header, the one that he missed against Man City, exactly the same place, put it wide. But yeah, Wirtz, we all know he's going to be a world-class talent. He's going to be a world-class player. He's going to run the show for years to come. We just need to see it in fruition, especially over the next few weeks, because we need him. We actually need him to perform. It's not about, let's have a good game. No, we need him to perform to get us hopefully into that top 5 finish. Because if he doesn't perform, let's be honest. You know, if Wirtz isn't playing well, guys, we're just shit. We ain't getting top 5 and Champions League, you can forget about it. We need Wirtz to be playing at a high level. And I know it's a lot of pressure on the kid. He's come from it's his first year. I get all of that. But when you see him do a few things, sometimes he lays off a ball, man. You just look at him and think, how do you do that? You know, and everything is done with, with magical instincts, man. And he's beautiful to watch. I just need him to do it a lot more. And one more thing. He had another chance yesterday where he should have laced it. And he fucking tried to place it. Yard, place it. I know I'm nitpicking here, Asim, but that's only because I want him to, to smash it, because he could have walked away yesterday with fucking 2 goals. Ramen hit the post, that header, and that lace. Fucking have had a hat trick if it all went to his way. That's the only thing with Wirtz.
White?
Oh, I love Flo. Flo's the man, and he's like, for me, the closest thing we're gonna see is like a Coutinho style player. Like, he can unlock defenses and everything goes through him. But yeah, if he had, and this is no disrespect to Salah, I love Mo Salah, and there's no disrespect to Gakpo. If we had those wingers, the right wingers, with Flo in the system, we could be very dangerous. I just think we need 2 proper wingers who take on men and stretch the game a little bit more with pace.
Yeah.
Like a Semenyo even, whoops. But like, I think Flo's amazing, and he's only going to get better. And I think you can see he's stronger on the ball. He feels a lot confident on the ball. Yes, he pussied out on that header. He should have. And you're right there. But he's slowly getting more and more into games now, and slowly becoming more focal for us. And his link-up play with Ekitike. Ekitike was poor yesterday. Do you ever watch a program back in the days called Red Dwarf with Crichton, the Crichton, the droid with the funny head? That's Ekitike's head, because the ball comes up with him and it just bounces off everywhere. He's got a Crichton head. There's 2. Honestly, as a striker number 9, they're bread and butter chances. Those headers are.
Yeah.
You should be burying them all day long. So he needs to improve on that. And yes, we can have a go at players when they're not playing well. He's been our best attacker this season, but yesterday he had a poor game. He looked again after 65 minutes, and that's a concern.
Yeah, he does work really, really hard. He runs the channels. He put Ballard, whatever his name is, on his ass a couple of times, especially on the left-hand side. But I said it a couple of weeks ago that he's an unbelievable connector, connecting with Kirkes, Wirtz, and Curtis Jones, and even McAllister in the last month or so. And he's a brilliant, brilliant footballer. But you want, in those positions, you want the Isak type of predator in the box. I guess if you're Ekitike with Isak box qualities, then bloody hell.
Well, that's the best comparison. If Isak had those 2 headed chances, they're goals, isn't he?
He's a killer. Isak's a killer in that situation. And that's the thing with Ekitike. It's like, you know what? He's still young and he's still going to improve. But I think because the season's going the way it is, we're kind of getting more frustrated at, the little things. And as a striker, he should be putting those headers away. But I'm sure when people were talking about him over the summer, that was one of his weaknesses that were highlighted. But yeah, I love him. I think he's a brilliant footballer. I think if he plays with Isak, not one or the other, I think they're gonna. I think it's just gonna go off, like, seriously, because like you said, he's a very good connector. He holds the ball well. He's like Bobby, isn't he? He's very similar to Bobby.
I was going to say he's like Bobby a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. I think in a better season, I don't think we'd be as bothered with his output, because we've gone through the Firmino era. And if our wingers were contributing more, then it's certain things kind of, you look at things in a different way, don't you? And you'd be like, you know what, that's his role now, to connect and chip in with goals. We didn't buy him to be the number 9 killer. That's Isak's role. But yeah, it's a little bit frustrating with some of the chances he does miss. But I think because of his age and the season we're having, I'm just trying not to nitpick too much. But I know because that's what we're here for.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I think we have to be patient. When you, it's a fine line between like showing the right amount of arrogance and then just being, like, a bit tad naive as well. It's a fine line, isn't it? And it's maturity, and it will grow. But sometimes I think he skipped past one player on the left-hand side, cut in, and the ball wasn't even on, and he tried to outside foot. Yeah, I think it was Salah who was running into the box, but he was nowhere near it, and there was about 3 defenders in the box. But sometimes I feel like with Ekitike, it has to be the perfect goal. Over the season, I want to see 5-6 scruffy goals from Ekitike. And that is when he will be the complete striker. Once we start getting those headed chances, not scruffy goals, those are just really good chances for any number 9. But long term, if he wants to score 20, 25 goals plus, he will need some scruffy goals. But from top of my head, every goal that I can think of, Ekatike has been an unbelievable goal.
Yeah, his highlight reel is amazing.
Yeah, he's been balling out this season.
Yeah, 100%. There was some super chats. Let's go run through them as Gene makes a return. S-Jot, always supporting the channel. Big up to S-Jot. He says, big 3 points, alhamdulillah. Our next few fixtures are favourable. I've asked her, I want to compare our fixtures, the next 6 people. If you can bring up the next 6 for United and Chelsea, and I'll start them in the chat, that would be great. He says our next few fixtures are favourable, but we've said that many times this season. Also glad to see China smiling. Dil hosh hoy gaya. 100%, especially when we've drawn. I don't think we've beaten any promoted side at Anfield this season. Sunderland at home, Leeds at home, Burnley at home, and then even the ones that we won recently against Burnley was 1-0 away, and Sunderland. So 2 out of 6, I think we won, which is not good enough. But you do know what kind of football or what kind of brand of the approach that Liverpool are going to face in the next 4 or 5 weeks against the likes of Wolves and Forest. So let's see what happens. But yesterday was very, very encouraging. Very encouraging. Let's keep it moving. S-Jot again. Yandi Amande. I want him ASAP. Go get him. What I'm told is Liverpool are keen on. I sometimes forget he's an in-house ITK as well. What I'm told is Liverpool are keen on him, but there's an agency issue. His old agency have image rights till 2031. There we are. Our very own Fabrizio Romano has updated the.
That agency thing's right though. I saw something about that the other day.
I saw something about that as well.
He just signed with Rock Nation. He signed with Rock Nation now, isn't he? But something to do with his image rights with his previous agency.
Yeah, they had a statement. The old agency put a statement out, didn't they? A big statement saying that they hold the image rights and all sorts. It's crazy, mate.
Chips in the building. He's trolling Gene as ever. Gene, we were talking about Ekatike, and we don't want to press too much on the lack of maturity because that's part of the development. But there were a few moments, but in a way, I don't really blame him as well. Like Wahid says, every 60, 70 minutes of each game, he does look gassed. But, the thing is, he's not that type of guy who will sit on the defender for 10 minutes, bide his time, wait for a chance. He has to be involved all the time. Just like Florian Wirtz. You go check Florian Wirtz's heat map this season. Forget actually this season. Just go check yesterday. It's a heat map over a central midfielder. And I'm sure I've not checked it. I've checked it. I've checked Wirtz's, but I've not checked Ekatike's. But go check it. And that'll be, the heat map, generally speaking, of a left winger as well. Because he's got so much natural tendencies to go and be involved. He's that kind of player. But we just have to tone him down. But I think he's going to get rested at the weekend. Do you agree?
I think Chiesa will start.
Okay.
I think Chiesa will probably start on the weekend over Ekatike. We can't let him start another game because he's goosed every game after 70 minutes. Let's be honest. He's literally goosed. And he's a player that's he does do a lot of running from what I see here. I don't know what the kilometers per game for him are, but like Asim, you mentioned, he's always on the left hand side. He's running towards the left, right. He's always wants to get involved. He drops deep, so he's always tries to be involved. And sometimes I wish we just had a player that was closer to goal at times. Because you feel as though we missed that final ball. Where if there was a proper centre forward there, we could probably get the ball in quicker. But as a footballer, Asim, what an unbelievable season he's had so far for his first season to come to Liverpool, to play the way he's played. He's been a breath of fresh air, and I ain't toning anything down with him. You Lagaro, you crack on, mate. literally, mate. You crack on because what you give us, not mate. This X factor, but this nuttiness some players have. You can't tone it down. You don't want to turn it because that's what makes them who they are. That's what makes him Ekatike. And I don't want her to tone anything down. You crack on. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to get pissed off. He might have a go at a few of his players in the next 18 months. I'm telling you now, he will have a go at some of our players and cause an argument. But we have to accept that. Honestly, we get this because he is a bit of a screw. He's got a bit of a screw loose. I'm telling you, I saw that in the first game. This guy has got a screw loose, but we have to accept him. And the manager has to manage him in a certain way. Yeah, that, you know what, allows him to flourish, where we're not taking away that craziness in him.
It doesn't matter what football, what sport it is. Every genius, I'm not calling him a genius, but obviously he's got potential. He's got the ceiling to be that kind of player. But they've always something not right about him. Is there? You know, the Ronnie O'Sullivans and like someone like Wayne Rooney. Like you couldn't tone
Mavericks.
that. Mavericks. That is the term. There's a comment from Aj, who's always asking really good questions. He says, Asim makes me laugh with this Endo thing. You've been saying this, he's shit all season, and now you give him credit. Back him from the start, Asim. Have to call you out for that, bro. Look, it's a fair question. I still don't think Endo is good enough for Liverpool Football Club. But what he is the model professional. He's a model professional. He'll give you 100%, 110% wherever you put him, whether it's in midfield, whether it's in net, whether it's at right back or left back. And he's a really good guy to have, for me, as 5th, 6th choice in midfield, where he's not going to complain if he's not going to start a lot of games. But you have to understand where we are. We're a title-winning team. And I know we've had a shit season. And even last season, when the manager didn't trust him, but because I thought that respect grew because of his professionalism in the squad and how he trained, he got those little cameos from the manager just because the way he trained, in my opinion. And now those opportunities have been really, really limited. Even yesterday, if someone performs like that, you have to, credit it. Do you want me to say, look, he was shy? Well, I'm trying to look at the bigger picture here for Liverpool. Is he good enough to start week in, week out? For me, no, because, we're a possession-based football team who just like to go and progress the ball through the center of the pitch. And over a season, for me, he's just not good enough on the ball. Same the problems that I've got with McAllister. McAllister obviously is a better player than Endo, but, we have to look at those elite teams and how do we get there? And we, year in, year out, to win the league titles, because as fans, that's what we want. But as a squad player, as a human being, as a warrior, come on, man. I've never, ever questioned his professionalism. I've questioned his quality, 100%. But if anyone disagrees with me, then feel free to speak.
Look,
okay, we move on then.
No, Endo's a G, man. What you said is right, man. Everybody needs an Endo in their squad, like a James Milner.
100%.
Like 100%. If someone offered us James Milner now, we'd all have him in our squad, wouldn't we? So it's that maturity, that that availability, the knowledge, the calmness, that squad player.
Yeah.
So yeah,
100%.
I agree with everything that you said. I don't disagree at all.
Sim, I mentioned McAllister there. I thought he had a decent second half. Some really good tackles
yesterday than he had performed.
Yeah,
good game yesterday.
What did you make of his performance?
A bit hit and miss in the first half, but I thought the second half, like, he showed that fight, the fight and energy that we know he's capable of having, that we've seen obviously since he's been at Liverpool. Listen, he's not had the best season. We know that. But the last couple of games, like, even his ability on the ball, like, it's kind of shining through again, just a little bit more than it has for the rest of the season. I do think yesterday was the game for Jones to start, personally, just because we've seen McAllister's legs look like they're falling off. But for somehow in the second half, he found another gear to go through. And I thought it was a good performance. Like, I actually watched the game yesterday thinking he stood out. He stood out just for that reason. Whereas I've been critical of him this season. His ability on the ball's not been the best. His energy's dipped. His legs look like they're gone. But that was a little reminiscent of the McAllister that we know.
There's a question here, Wade. Well, not a question, but a statement. Maka is good enough to play in any team, including PSG or Real Madrid. Agree?
Last year's Mac, yeah. Mac, Mac 10. This year we've had a Mac 3 or a Mac 4. Last night he got to about a Mac 7, I think, or an 8. He was probably our best midfielder, I think. He was getting into challenges. He was definitely better than Grav. We need to have a conversation about Grav soon. But Mac was yeah, as Sim said, he was definitely shades of improvement.
Gene, do you think Gravenberg needs a break?
Gravenberg, Asim, if we're honest with ourselves, has a couple of games where he's been decent. But if you look at his performances over the last 2.5 months, they've been nowhere near.
Yeah.
And I think he probably does need a break. 100% need a break. He does look tired. He tires, and he's another one like Ekatike. I think that just his legs are going, especially towards the end of the game. But yesterday I felt it was not just the latter end of the game. I felt even at the start of him, I thought he was tired. I think maybe this two, we had City, then another away game at Sunderland. That be it. But if we're honest with ourselves, Asim, he's been shit for the past 2.5 months.
I'm going to put everyone.
Honest with ourselves, he has not been good enough, nowhere near good enough. Couple of half turns, going in a City game might all look good, but if you look at his actual performances in some of these games, they've been nowhere near good enough.
I'm there sometimes. I don't know if it's just me.
McAllister's been a better midfielder than him for the past 2 months.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think with Grav, sometimes you don't remember unless he performs to a really elite level. You don't remember what he's done. Sometimes I forget he's on the pitch because he's quiet. He doesn't impose himself in that position. You have to impose yourself on the game. Like you're the you're the integral part of the midfield, aren't you? And yeah, sometimes I think he disappears.
I'm going to put everyone on the spot here. Gene's probably played the game a million times, probably changed it 1 million times as well, and he'll change it for the 1,000,001 time today. Considering Florian Wirtz long term is going to play from the left-hand position on paper next season, and you've got one signing, whoever you want, realistic, what is our midfield next season? And that will reflect your three midfield should reflect who you think is going to leave. So if you think Max is going to leave, obviously, exclude him out the three. I'm going to give Aid a bit of time to think about it. I'll give Sim a bit of time to think about it. I'm going to come to you, Gene, because you've been flip-flopping between Wharton and Anderson for a while.
No, I've not been flip-flopping.
I think you're on Wharton at the moment.
No, I'm on Anderson, innit?
Huh?
Look, I don't flip-flop, Asim. Wharton has been my number one for 2 years. Everybody knows this. You know that I have been calling for Wharton for the past 2 years. He is the player I want. But when I look at this,
Wharton?
No. But I don't know. This one, Sunana Gala Yara. Tu mai you come in. But for the last 3 months, 4 months that we've been speaking, and I look at this Liverpool team, I've always said that right now there is a need in the midfield where we need latin, we need legs, we need players who are going to be able to get up and down, have physical attributes in this team. So and look, from what I've seen of Anderson, I really like him. And that's why 2 or 3 months ago I said, you know what? Now if I had the choice in terms of profile and what I need, I want Anderson.
Ash says Soboslai.
You had one player, Ash, not two.
Ash is allowed to cheat. Wade, who's your three?
I'm going to pick out a couple of curveballs. I'm not going to go for the obvious Whartons and Andersons that people. I want some explosive midfielders, some strong, combative midfielders. I think that's what we need for Wirtz and pacey wingers to flourish. So I'm going shopping in France. I'm going to go Mamadou Sangara from Lens.
Ooh.
Amin Kamara as well. And I want to proper beef up that. Get some legs in, like Sheen says. So, yeah, I'm going to go slightly off key. Because like, at the end of the day, Wharton, great player technically, but is he any different than what we've got at the moment? Let's be honest. Like, I think they're very similar style players, what we have already.
But I think his passing, in terms of
his passing is brilliant,
on a different level.
Yeah,
I think yesterday his pass for the assist goal was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable pass.
Goal. Fair enough, point taken. I'll give you that. Yeah, but I want to see some battlers. I want to see some strength in our midfield.
That's fair.
I really like Anderson. I tweeted about him. today, but for the last month, I want Onana from Villa.
Villa's on Anna.
Starter.
Sorry,
As a starter.
I really like him. I accept that he's not the greatest on the ball. There are some limitations, but where the league is going, I want some size. I want some legs. I want him mopping up the sides. For me, his defensive work is probably, I would go as far as world class. His defensive work, his heading ability, duels in the air. He can drop into centre back, set pieces. I admit there are limitations on the ball, but I think he will provide a lot of. And I can see someone like Florian Wirtz playing in the 10. And for me, if you want Florian Wirtz in the 10, then you have to make sure
Did you
the
not
wings.
say you're going to have seen playing on the left-hand side before we started this?
No, no. I'm not. I'll give you my midfield. If it's Onana, it'll be Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. But what I'm talking about, if you for games, especially when you come up with a really big bus at Anfield and you want control, I'm coming to Wirtz in the number 10 position, and because that is a question that I want to ask you guys as well. How do you see it? Do you see two big lads playing up top next year? I want the thoughts of Waid and Sim. But in terms of protection for the number 10, if because you've got Wirtz, just like this season, he'll play out wide, he'll play in the number 10 position as well. But if you've got protection, then it just shows you, it'll give you the foundation for him to flourish. Because although he's got natural tendencies to go and feed and feel the ball, but you do need him to just receive those balls edge of the box. So I think it'll let off Gravenberch off a leash as well, him carrying, because whenever you saw Gravenberch at Bayern or the Ajax as well, it was those little Pogba traits where he played that ball or he dropped a shoulder and he carried the ball into in the box. And that's when Arne Slot gave him a bit more freedom. He started getting a few more goals. That Everton goal earlier in the season, a few at Newcastle as well, little shots outside the box. But I wanna come to you, Sim.
I'm not mad at that Onana take actually, but I think he needs, hypothetically, if that was to happen, he needs a Wharton next to him. You know, someone that's going to connect the midfield to the attack. I don't think we got a player, possibly Jones, but I don't think Grav would be able to do it week in, week out. As much as I rate him, and I think he's a brilliant footballer, and I think we're kind of letting him down a little by forcing him in that 6 now. Whereas traits would probably be more ideal further up. Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the Onana take, but I do think.
Oh yeah, he's
fucking shit, man.
You're Onana, man. I don't rate him.
Listen,
I
thought that face inside when I first heard
He's
it.
a good player, man. He's a good player. Fucking
I think if we're going to
Onana.
go for a destroyer, there's not many destroyers anymore, is there? Not that I can
He's a
think
good
of. But I
player.
don't watch them much.
You fucking Liverpool we're talking about, man.
I know.
He's a good player. Look, I'm not gonna say he's shit. I'm not here to give him shit and say that, you know what, I'm not gonna say shit, yeah. But you're like, come on, man. Fucking Onana. Yeah, I'm fucking better.
I think he's underrated.
I'm a better passer than him, Asim. Just be shit.
No, look, is on the ball ability.
Hey, you know,
Is not great. Might
fucking
get
get
Fellaini.
Fellaini
Oh,
instead.
come on. No. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not that bad.
Come on, man.
That's a good shout. Ask him.
Tonali.
Onana.
Yeah,
No,
if you're a Onana or Tonali.
Tonali's a much better footballer. Let's be honest.
Let's
You
do
pick
it.
Tonali
Gene
then,
Lean,
over
Gene
Onana.
Lean.
Different players. If I had a choice, I'm not going to sit on the fence. If it's going to be Wirtz on the left-hand side, then I'd go Tonali. If you want Wirtz in the 10, I'd go Onana.
Onana, I get you. Fair enough.
Okay. Let's go to the next question then. how do you see it then next season? How do you think the manager, if it's Slot in charge?
I was going to say, who's the manager?
Slot.
Okay, go on. What's the question?
Yeah, what's the question?
The question is, how do you see it? Do you see Wirtz on the left? Do you see Ekitike playing with Isak? Who do you see on the right? Like, because there's a lot of big decisions to make.
I think he's going to play Isak. I do think Isak's going to be starting, but I think you can't leave Ekitike out. So whether you have to rejig the formation to get them both on the pitch, I would have liked to have seen Ekitike pull to the left. We know he pulls to the left from the 9, but we've not seen him play as a left winger, and I don't particularly want him to be a left winger because he is a striker. If he drifts out from the striker position, that's a different story. I think there might have to be a rejig in formation if you want them both on the pitch, unless you can get I don't. It's tough, man. It's whoever comes in and if Slot stays, whoever has to make that decision in the summer. That's it's hard, man, because I don't think you can leave either of them out. Obviously, we've not seen the best of Isak. We've barely seen him this season, but
yeah,
when he's up and running, we know he's going to score. He's too good not to score. But we need pace out wide, and that's what we've missed badly this season. That's all we've known for the last 10 years, pretty much. And we're seeing what happens when you don't replace that pace, and you're stuck with Gakpo, who is a good squad player. I don't want to shit on Gakpo too much. I actually thought he performed better yesterday than he has. And Mo's legs are gone, so pace is so integral to what we do now. I envy the person that has to sort this out over the summer because there's so much to do, man. You're probably talking 7 players with outgoings. It's crazy.
Another reset. How do you see it, Wade? How do you see it?
Pretty much the same, man. It's hard to call because I personally I think Isak is going to be the number 9 regardless. Like,
okay,
if he's fit, he's starting. That's just the way it is. Because he's the gun man. But what formation we put behind him? 10, in my opinion, has to be Wirtz. Otherwise, what's the point buying him? What is the entire point buying him to unlock defenses if he's not playing in the position he's most blessed in? So forget put him on. I know he naturally drifts out left, but no. The problem for whoever manager is, whether it's Slot or Alonso or Enrique, whoever, is you got a good man number 9 and you got a great number 10. Work with that, build a team.
Would you guys be happy with this team if I told you Liverpool's team next season is going to be right back? I hope they buy a new right back. Well, let's stick with Frimpong Bradley, Kanate, Verge, and Kirkes. Anderson, Gravenberch in the middle. Soboslai and Wirtz on the left and right. So effectively coming inside as the 2 10s. And then you've got the 2 big lads up top. So 4-2-2. Would you be happy with that?
No,
I don't think there's enough width there.
I think as good as Soboslai is,
obviously you're relying on the fullbacks, aren't you?
Yeah.
I just don't want to see Soboslai on the right.
I think it's a
I think
waste.
he could do a job there. I just don't think it's not what we need. We need pace, man. Like,
exactly, we need pace.
We've been fucking crying out for pace for 3 years, man. How are we going to be happy with this formation? We need fucking wingers. Players that are going to be good enough to give you some sort of pace. Yeah, no, my dad's going to press.
But who's gonna if you got Wirtz, you can't play Wirtz in the 10, the 2 lads up top who are
this is why we got a squad, bro. They don't have to play 11 first time. We should be competing in all competitions, 60 game plus seasons. So throughout a season, if we're that good and we want to aspire to be that team, 2 number 9s, Ekatike and Isak will get 30 games each, easy.
Yeah. Okay. I was playing devil's advocate, man.
Where's our aspirations? We need to win a lot, man.
But who do you think those wingers are going to be then? Because everyone, including me, they're saying we need the backhaulers. We need these elite wingers who can go on the outside, who can score goals, but want a bit more they want the foundations to excel and flourish to be provided for them. Or do you think Liverpool, and let's be honest, the manager's been talking about a Murphy type of profile. And I don't think Liverpool will go as far as that. But what do you think? Because that was in reference to how Isak was getting delivered the balls. So, personally speaking, Wade, I think Liverpool will buy a Salah replacement in the summer.
How do you see
a Salah replacement? I think there's interest in Elise. Whether we get him, I don't know.
Champions League will depend. Now.
Of course.
And this is that's going to dictate the summer. I think if we get Champions League.
I think Yan Diamande is clearly liked at the club, heavily scouted this season.
Does he play majority off the left or right? Left, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah. On the left, yeah. Generally speaking, but
if I'm just playing devil's advocate, if it is Diamande, that takes off Barcola off the chessboard, doesn't it? Or does it?
I've seen a bit of Yan Diamande play on the right hand side. Okay. I saw a bit of a few compilations as well today, and he was going off the right hand side. I saw some similarities with the profile, like Semenyo. That's similar frame as well.
Can do both flanks.
Yeah, comfortable. What I've seen him, I think he's comfortable. But it's sometimes like Mane. Mane came, played on the right hand side, and then moved across to the left hand side, and then played down the middle later on in his Liverpool career.
In that case, I think Elise is the dream, isn't he? For me, as a Salah replacement, personally, Elise is the dream. The guy's a baller, he's just a chance creator. But the work ethic obviously is the question. But when you play for Liverpool, you automatically have to work. So would we be happy, chat as well, hypothetically speaking, if we upgrade to Elise and Diamande?
Elise off. I'll be doing cartwheels.
I'll be doing bloody cartwheels.
Is that asking too much?
Bloody hell, be doing cartwheels, bro.
I think everyone will take that.
Let's just say Gakpo goes to Bayern because they like Gakpo. And then we get Elise Diamande.
I think if you want the best, I think if you want the best winger,
I look. Let's be honest. We're not going to get it at this present state. I'm just playing around, because I'm playing Football Manager in my head, Everyone's playing in Champions League, and at the moment, we need to make sure we get Champions League. Otherwise, 100%. There's no point speculating right now.
Oh, we love speculating.
If I had, and people might cook me here, Asim, but I'd go Diamande Gordon. Look, everybody wants backhauler. Everybody wants backhauler, but obviously, in terms of you got to think of how much money we're gonna have to spend. Yeah. I think you'll get Gordon out, and if you want elite runners and pace and people, and that's what we need. We need.
What do you reckon you can price Gordon away for? How much do you reckon we can get?
I reckon you can get him for around 65-70 million next summer.
For Gordon.
Yeah,
that's not a bad shout, Gordon. I don't think he's the best with numbers, but he's
just not. For me, it's not just about elite wingers now that are going to give you elite output. It has to be players who are going to give you what the team needs and what's going to make Florian Wirtz tick. Yeah, I believe that this will make him tick, and this will make hopefully Isak tick, because we need pacey wingers, man.
It'll be nice knocking on the Newcastle door again, won't it, this summer?
Yeah, I said, when they want to do business with us again, I doubt it.
Marcus,
I'm
honestly.
all for it, man. I'm all for it.
But you know what I want, guys, is I want some tendencies to running behind. I think Gordon does have that. Yeah. Yes, there are questions about his output, but I think if you want the best out of Florian Wirtz in the number 10 position, and this is a similar argument that I was trying to make for Onana, if you want the best out of Wirtz, and when you're talking about wingers, then you might need to sacrifice a bit of output for him to get the protection. I don't want Florian Wirtz defending and trying to recover his right winger. At the moment, he's still doing that. He's more of a focal point than what he was in earlier part of the season, because we couldn't work it out. Who do we pass to? Do we pass to Salah or do we pass to Wirtz? And Wirtz is getting involved a lot more. And that's why probably the reasons why you're seeing a much better performance from him. And obviously, he's settling in himself as well with the physicality of the league, and those 2.5 kgs extra muscle always helps. But I feel like if you want the best out of our number 9, whether that's if you play the 2 wingers, you have to make sure, especially in this league, and then you've got a maverick in Florian Wirtz to flourish and receive the ball in the right areas. One, you need the midfielder to provide it for him from midfield or deep areas, and then you need the wingers to make sure they've got the track back. I would have loved to see Luis Diaz in this team with Florian Wirtz. Honestly, I would have loved it, because you can't have too many players who want it to feet all the time. And when you've got a number 10 in the team who's got a little cute pass behind the defense, if you don't have the traits from the wingers to run in behind those fullbacks, it's just not going to happen. Because if they don't go behind the fullbacks, the cross it doesn't come to the number 9. So it'll be interesting to see who Liverpool go for, because that should be the crux. We need to provide the foundation for our focal point, Florian Wirtz, this summer. How do we get the best out of him going forward? Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. I wouldn't mind seeing our board or Hughes prove his worth and actually buy players like these, the Bournemouth Rayans, and why can't we get a couple of these Brazilian lads or South American lads and loan them out to other people, But we have to wait till they go to other clubs and then we get them for 80 million, So just a couple of signings in the summer where we don't know who they are, no idea.
Yeah, but bro, imagine me sign a couple and they turn out shit. That's your whole season gone.
Yeah, but
they're good for second tier ones. Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
maybe
just a couple of gambles in the Brazilian market, just to see.
That's why they changed the model, though, wasn't it? Because back in the day, we could kind of gamble a little bit more, and because of the position we were in. But I'm sure I read an article a couple of years back where they were saying Liverpool now prefer players to make one move before, that in between club.
Yeah,
and then we know, okay, we can gamble. It's less of a gamble now. It's more calculated.
Yeah. It's all about if they can settle in Europe, can't they, and stuff like that.
And that's really the importance of getting a second club as well. We know they're looking, and that might be one of the reasons why we need to start pushing forward.
A great point, Sim. That is the big problem. If you're going to come and we've been looking, and we're doing about 10 million. We checked out 1 million clubs and done the due diligence and all that sort of stuff, but we just can't seem to get one.
So has Edwards failed then? His remit was to build. He's managing director of football for FSG. That was his remit. So has he failed? He's got 18 months left to buy a couple,
one, and then they just got
Bordeaux, and we've been all over.
France, there was another one in Spain as well. I'm sure that was a good time.
So many. But look, it's a fair point, but we still haven't got one, and that is one of the reasons why. We've been against all the Super League and all that sort of stuff, but we thought, you know what, we can't get this right. Let's just jump on the bandwagon, and we still can't get a club. 2 years.
Both Hughes and Edwards' contracts is up in 18 months' time, so we could see a massive change if he's judged on. Look, your job was to bring in multi-club system, and you haven't done anything. Go on, you're off the door. We're not renewing your contract. Richard Hughes was linked with Al Ittihad today, or one of the Arab Saudi Arabian clubs. Maybe there could be changes upstairs coming. We don't know.
Yeah. Selection makes a point saying, sorry, Sam?
Yeah, I think we will get one. It's just finding the right one, isn't it? And I was actually talking to someone on Twitter about this last week, and we were no one's actually done it successfully yet, I don't think. Other than the Red Bull clubs. I don't think it's been done successfully in terms of player pathways. And, Chelsea have got, is it Strasbourg?
Chelsea's the only example, isn't it? You can lean on that as semi.
But have they plucked anyone out of that club and put them straight into that we're ready to play for Chelsea? And the same with City.
Their manager.
They just bought that Salang from Strasbourg.
And their manager, Wade.
And the manager, and Liam Senior. Mamadou Sarr, that's it.
Selection. big slot fan, big Edwards fans too, by the sounds of it. No, Edwards hasn't failed. They are
I was
looking.
just asking a
Oh,
question.
yeah,
I was just asking a
selection is a
question.
lover of the hierarchy. He's a lover of Edwards, Hughes, and the manager. He won't take any shit that we give them boys. But the truth is, selection, they're bloody failed.
I think it's a really. If you don't want me to sit on the fence, I think he has failed. It's
He
18
has.
months. We still haven't found one.
Yeah.
The City are on about 12, 13 clubs. So let's be honest. We it's one of the reasons why we can't go get players like Rehan and put them in those other clubs and let them get the 150 games in Europe and build up proper experience in really good leagues. It's one of the big reasons why Liverpool can't, because when you're languishing in mid-table, or the squad that even like someone like Jurgen Klopp inherited, we could go get a 20-25 million pound. Obviously, his examples of turning Salah and Mane into world beaters, nobody will able to do that, and we probably won't see it ever again, as much as what he did. But one of the reasons why we can't do it is because we won the title. So there's a level of player that you have to bring at the club. It's very hard to improve Liverpool. I know we fell off a cliff this season and we needed a reset, but one of the reasons why we need so many players is because we let go of so many as well. So our bench needs improving, but so does our team. But one of the reasons why we can't get someone like Rehan is, one, because we don't have another club to put him in, sorry. And then the other reason is we need a level of assurance and a bit of a track record, because it's that 150 games that Liverpool look at when it comes to their model. But I starred some of the fixtures before we call it a night, boys. There was a question from Alex. Thoughts on Matthias Mane news? I've not even seen the news. I've been out. What's the news?
Not seen anything.
No? Okay, someone let me know what the news is, and then we'll discuss it. Okay, let's keep it moving. There's a few SJ super chats exclusive. If Saturday Mamadzashvili does not perform, club will make moves of Robin Rissa. I think, from France. I think Avi's been talking about him as well. They see him as a better long-term Ali replacement. Very interesting. SJ again, we'll get Diamande for 60 plus 5 million, with Harvey going the other way as a sweetener. They've been interested in Harvey for a long time, plus Klopp link, of course. He's on a roll. SJ. Gene genuinely makes me hate Gordon. We watched Mane and we have gone from Mane to Diaz to Gakpo to Gordon. Does Gene want us to suffer? Really, SJ is not a fan. Is not a fan. Sim, would you take Gordon? Yes or no?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I think he works hard. He gets in behind, and his numbers haven't been the best this year, man, or for the last 12 months. But I think there's a good player there, man. I do like him, but I just wonder, would he play better with the right players around him?
Apparently, the news is that Matthias Mane's agent was touring the AXA. If he was touring the AXA, people, I can guarantee you that it would be bigger news. And it was a done deal. It's a done deal.
But I'm sure I read somewhere that he was also touring United's ground as well. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe just an agent thing, isn't it? Maybe he's going to leave Wolves. That's a given. They're probably going to go down to the Championship. So agents are doing what agents do, innit?
We'd probably get him for a good price, because they're going to get relegated.
How many years does he have left on his contract at Wolves?
I'm not sure about that.
Might be a relegation clause with him as well. I don't know.
And that's that's like a shrewd signing. If we get like a world-class winger, and then
2027.
Sorry, what was you saying, mate?
2027 his contract expires.
Okay.
He's only got 1 year left.
1 year. It's interesting. He will make the move.
He's touring multiple grounds. Jandios. Let's see what happens.
Multiple. Yeah.
June 2029.
2029. Wow.
Oh, sorry.
Matthias Mane.
2029. Yeah, apologies.
Okay, here we are then, people. Before we wrap up, next 6 fixtures: United and Chelsea fixtures. Bloody hell! I don't know how this is. I think these are
Man United have got Everton,
Palace.
Newcastle, Villa, Bournemouth, Chelsea. Sorry, Leeds. And Chelsea have got Burnley, Arsenal, Villa, Newcastle, Everton, Man City. Putter Chelsea have got to lay after Burnley.
Ooh, Chelsea's look tasty.
Yeah,
Chelsea have got top flipping 4 in the next 5 games after Burnley.
United have got Everton, Palace. Okay, not bad. There's some decent teams there. We've clearly, Gene, got the easier running, but that doesn't really matter with Liverpool this season,
The next
does it?
6 games, Liverpool have got slightly easier running, but that doesn't
Oh,
matter.
for the
because
next
our last
fixtures, yeah, of course.
the next 6 after that, that's a Nangi game.
Let's not get that far ahead. It could be 15 by then. You never know.
Our fixtures are a lot easier.
On paper, yeah.
Yes.
But
Who's our next 6?
Slot fantasizes about PSG, and he has nightmares about Nottingham Forest. So we'll see what happens against Forest.
Yeah.
That's actually a fair point. Asim. Go there. That'll be if you just beaten Sunderland and then go to Forest and drop points. That's a sickener, man.
Those yo-yo performances, man. I would like a good 3-4, just a stretch, man. A nice run of games for once where we don't have to just wake up.
Yeah.
But we owe Forest one as well. They're going to have a new manager, so they'll have a new manager bounce. They came to Anfield, they slapped us at 3-0. We owe them. So,
but you know what? For them, Liverpool's like a cup final with the history of the clubs.
Yeah.
The fans, that ground is loud. For a ground that's only got around about 23,000 fans, honestly, sounds like 60,000 fans.
City ground, yeah. I'm going to that game away as well. So I'm looking
It's
forward
loud, man.
Mad. It's really loud. I was there when we lost 1-0, I think, a couple of years ago. And I was there for the Darwin Núñez winner as well. So
you went for Jota as well, though. You went for when Jota scored FA Cup.
I was there as well. I was there. It is a really good ground, to be fair. They create some noise, but yeah, maybe you get a bit of a closer look at Anderson as well. You never know. Okay, let's call it a wrap, people. We've been on air for around about 1 hour, 10 minutes. There's still over 300 people watching. Make sure you subscribe and like the stream on the way out. Make sure you follow Wide on Twitter. You don't have your own YouTube channel, do you?
No, I just go on, people. Get invited on.
That's good. And make sure you head over to Sim Talks on YouTube as well. TikTok accounts, Twitter accounts at Sim.
Yeah.
Let the people know where they can find you, man.
Twitter's Life of Sim. TikTok, I'm gonna work on that one, man. I need to start putting some stuff out on TikTok. Good stuff. There's a late Fergie time super chat from SJ. Go for Coyote just for the throw-ins.
With crazy throw-ins, you know.
Well, I didn't watch the game. Really? Nice. Coyote, just for the throw-ins. You know, remember that Fergie quote when Charlie Adams had a blinder? He goes, those corners are worth 20 million himself. Maybe Coyote's throw-ins are worth 20 million themselves as well. But on that note, we'll catch you tomorrow. Then Chip and Chin to returns on Friday. We obviously got the FA Cup tie with Brighton on Saturday, and then we return with the Forever Reds podcast on Sunday, which I believe Ben should have been on camera by now, but he's been really ill. So sending good wishes to Ben as well. Get well soon, and we hopefully see you on camera very, very soon. Okay, people, call it a night. Like this stream on the way out, and we catch you on the next one. Take care, and bye for now.
Thanks a lot.